In this video, I'm going to show you why Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin were so drawn to each other, and I'm also going to predict for you if this relationship will last based on numerology. So Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin. This is a young couple that is very trendy right now. And they're also a very interesting couple because they got married, but they really didn't date each other very long before they decided to get married. So I'm a matchmaker who uses numerology and astrology to match my clients with great matches. I will look at their numerological and astrological birth charts, and I analyze these charts and find them great matches. One of the things that I like to do on this channel is I like to look at the numerological birth charts of celebrities to show you the real reason why they behave the way they do and the real reason why people act the way they do. And there's a lot of really good information in these birth charts, and a lot of these birth charts can predict in many instances if a relationship and a couple will last. So we look at the birth charts of two celebrities, and based on the numbers in each chart, we can predict with great accuracy if a couple will last and if they are a good match to begin with. And if a couple will have a long-term marriage, if they will have a long-term relationship, how long the relationship is likely to last, if they will end up splitting up in the end. These are all things that we can determine based on numerology. So I am going to make that prediction for you today. I'm first going to show you if this is even a good match to begin with based on the numbers, and then I'm going to predict for you if the relationship will last based on the numbers in their chart. Now, I want to say beforehand that I don't watch the news and I don't pay attention to the media, and I don't know a lot of personal information about celebrities. So everything that I tell you and everything that I show you is going to be completely objective, and it's going to be a completely objective analysis that is based on the numbers in their chart. So I apologize to you ahead of time if there is anything that I say that offends you, if you are a fan of Justin and Hailey, and if there's something that I say that offends you, or if there's something that I say that triggers you, I apologize ahead of time. That is not my intention. I do not want to offend anybody, but I am being objective, so that means I am showing you both sides, the good and the bad. And so you don't have to know anything about numerology in order to understand what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to make it very simple. There are 4 main numbers in a numerology chart. I'm just going to briefly go over each one of these so that you have a background as to what they each mean. The life path number is the most important number in your chart because it is the reason you were born and your purpose for being here. The expression number is the way other people see you, and it's the way you express yourself to the world. The soul's urge number is the number that determines what makes you happy in life. And the birthday number is all of the skills and the talents and the abilities that you come down in this lifetime with to support your life's purpose. I will post the definitions of these words at the back of the video, and I will also post the meanings of the individual numbers in numerology at the back of the video, so you can check that out later if you want. I have already gone ahead and calculated these number charts on my own ahead of time. If you wanted to do this on your own, or if you wanted to calculate your own number chart, I will put a link to an app below that you can use that is completely free. All you have to do is put in your birth date and your full name on your birth certificate, and it will calculate your chart for you. And just to let you know, a numerology chart has many numbers. There are many more numbers than just these 4 numbers, but I'm trying to keep it very simple for you guys, so we're just going to go over these 4 core numbers. So Justin's life path number is a number 9, so that means that his purpose in life is humanitarianism, because 9 in numerology represents humanitarianism, and it also represents endings because it's the last number. The expression number is a number 4, so the way the world sees him is somebody who works very hard, somebody who's very focused and very dedicated to his craft. As you can see from the number meanings, 4 in numerology stands for work, stability, focus, commitment, dedication. What brings him true happiness in life is freedom, change, and transition. because his soul's urge number is a number 5, and as you can see from the meanings, 5 represents freedom, change, and transition. His birthday number is a number 1, so leadership and independence are the skills and abilities that he has come down in this lifetime with to support his life's purpose. Hailey's life path number is a number 4, so her purpose in life is to be a hard worker and to have stability, focus, dedication, and commitment. Her expression number is also a number 4, so we see her and the world sees her as being a person who is very stable and grounded and committed and a very hard worker. What brings her true happiness in life is introspection and researching things and analyzing things, because her soul's urge number is a number 7, and as you can see from the number meanings, 7 represents introspection, research, solitude. 7 is a number of going within and having a lot of time to think about things on your own. And so these are all the things that bring Hailey true happiness. Her birthday number is a master number 22, and in numerology, master number 22 represents foundations, work and stability, dedication and commitment. It has the energy of the number 4, because if you add the 2 2s together, you get the energy of the number 4. So those are all of the skills and the talents that she comes down to this lifetime with. The ability to work very hard and to build foundations. So now let's put these 2 charts together side by side so that we can compare the 2 of them. The first thing I wanted to point out is that Hailey has a very imbalanced chart. And the reason I say that is that because she has 4 4s in her chart, because her life path number is a number 4 and her expression number is also a number 4, and her birthday number, even though it's a master number 22, it still has the energy of a number 4. So you never want to see more than one of the same number in someone's chart, because if you see more than one of that number, that means that there's too much energy of that one number in the chart. And so that means for Hailey, there's too much of the 4 energy in her chart, and that makes her chart imbalanced. So people with a life path of number 4 are, as I mentioned, people who are very hard workers. They are very stable and grounded people, and they like to have a routine, and they like familiarity, and they like things to be the same. They like predictability, and they typically don't like change, and they typically don't like to travel either. So these are people that make great lawyers. They are people that make great business owners. They really like to plan everything out ahead of time. So they need to have a plan in their head before they do something, and they really like to be in control. So they make great, like I said, they make great business owners. They're very business-minded people. Hailey has an imbalance of this number in her chart. So that means she has too much energy of this one number in her chart. So she's probably a little bit on the extreme end of all of these things that I just mentioned, where I said that 4s like to be in control. Well, maybe she would be on the extreme end of that, and she might be a little bit controlling, or she might be too hardworking and too focused and too dedicated and too stuck into a routine, because there is a lot of energy of this one number in her chart. Justin's life path number is a number 9, and 9s typically are people who are humanitarians. Gandhi and Mother Teresa were both life path number 9s. So these are people that kind of think about the greater good, and they try to help humanity in some sort of way. I'm not really sure if Justin gives to charity. I don't know if he's involved in any humanitarian projects. If he is, you can let me know down below in the comments. Like I said, I don't really know a lot of information about him. If he's not really involved in any humanitarianism right now, at some point in time in his life, that will change. At some point in time when he gets older, he will become a humanitarian, and he will start doing a lot of charity for other people. He's very young right now, so if he's not involved in that, that's going to change later on down the road for him. Now, I also wanted to mention that number nines tend to be people that are very focused on the past. So they are fixated and obsessed with thinking about the past and things that have happened to them in the past. They tend to obsess over people and relationships that they had in the past and not really focus that much on the present. So that would be the negative aspect of that number, because all numbers have positive aspects and they have negative aspects as well. So like I said, the negative end of that number is that they can be a little bit obsessed with the past. And I guess we can see this in Justin with the fact that he has gone back to previous relationships before quite often. I believe he went back to Selena Gomez a number of times before he finally got married. Another thing with nines is 9 is a number of endings because it's the last number in numerology. So these are people that really like to end things. These are people that, they'll get into a job and they'll want to end it as soon as they're in the job. They'll get into a relationship and they'll want to end it. So that, like I said, that's another negative aspect of that number, is kind of this need to want to end things as soon as they start. So even though number nines really do enjoy being in relationships and they want to be in relationships, it can be very difficult for them to keep relationships going because they have this desire to always want to end everything. Now, I also wanted to point out that number 9 is an odd number and number 4 is an even number. So Justin's life path number is an odd number and Hailey's is an even number. And in numerology, the odd numbers tend to have a similar energy and the even numbers tend to have a similar energy. And the odd numbers go well with other odd numbers because they're kind of the same and have a similar energy. And it's the same with the even numbers. They tend to go well with each other because they have a similar energy. Justin has one even number in his chart, but most of the numbers in his chart are odd numbers. And most of the numbers in Hailey's chart are even numbers. So that tells me that these two have a very different energy going on within them. But going back to the life path number, a number 9 and a number 4 are not compatible numbers, and this is not a compatible match. So this is not a good match based on their life path numbers and also the numbers in their chart. The odd number energy of the number 9 and the even number energy of the number 4 are just too different for this to be a good match. And also I wanted to point out that number 4s can be very blunt and they can be very honest. And like I said, sometimes they can be controlling if they are operating on the negative aspects of the number. And number 9s can be very sensitive people. They are people that are very focused on the past, so a lot of times they are still healing from wounds that have happened to them from childhood, because they are always thinking about the past and things that have happened to them that they haven't completely healed from yet. And so this can be a difficult combination because the 4 can say things to the number 9 that can really cut the number 9 and really hurt the 9's feelings. And so with the 4 and the 9 combination, the 4 really has to learn to be more playful and, not so focused on work and this need to be honest all the time, because they can be very brutally honest. And this can really hurt a number 9's feelings because, like I said, they haven't completely healed from the past and they're still thinking about the past a lot. And so they really have to learn how to tone that down, that brutal honesty, when they're with a number 9. They also have to learn how to be more playful with them because the 9s do really well with people that are not so serious. And 4s can be very serious. They take things very seriously. And like I said, because they're hard workers. So Hailey will have to learn to tone that down and not be so serious. She'll have to learn to be a little bit more playful and not so brutally honest with Justin if she wants this relationship to survive. One more thing I wanted to mention is that Justin's soul's urge number is a number 5. So what brings him true happiness in life is having his freedom and having change and transition. So that's going to be another problem in this relationship. 5 is also a number about seeking out sensory experiences as well. So Justin really enjoys seeking out those sensory experiences. All numbers have positive and negative aspects. So on the negative end of that number 5 is that sometimes people with a life path number 5 will tend to have addiction problems. So because they really enjoy seeking out sensory experiences, these are people that sometimes will experiment with drugs. And they can become addicted. Sometimes they can have addiction problems if they're operating on the negative aspect or the negative end of that number 5. And 5 is not his life path number, but it is Justin's soul's urge number. It's what makes him happy, so that is a very key number for him. And so that could also cause problems in the relationship as well. And so I am predicting, based on all of this information, that this relationship is not going to last. Like I said, this is not a compatible match. I do believe that at some point in time, these two will end up separating. The combination of the fact that 9s love to end things, as soon as they're in something, they like to end it. The fact that there's so much odd number energy on Justin's end and so much even number energy on Hailey's end, and just so many differences between these two. Also, the fact that what brings Justin true happiness in life is having his freedom and having change. He's going to want to change eventually. He's going to want to switch. Right now, she's probably bringing a lot of stability into his life, but eventually these differences will tear them apart. And eventually, if Hailey starts to become controlling, or if she is too brutally honest and not considering Justin's feelings, or becomes too serious in the relationship and forgets to be playful and doesn't make the relationship fun, then the relationship will come to an end. So please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about this. I want to know what your opinion is. What do you think about everything that you've just heard right now? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to check out my services, I will leave the information to that below. I would love for you to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I want to thank you so much for watching this video today. I am sending you light and love. Take care.